Presidential campaigns try to reach voters any way they can. The rallies and the news interviews for the faithful. Then there's the ads and direct mail and all kinds of other methods which try to break through to people who aren't following politics and news. Now, Donald Trump has long used the PR tactics and celebrity stuff that everyone knows burnishes his so-called brand. And it has bothered him when some of those same celebrities or artists he's always cozied up to then embrace his opponents over him. He's even referenced it over the years of campaigning.
We don't need Jay-Z or Beyonce. We don't need John Bon Jovi. We don't need Lady Gaga.
Trump was clearly rattled by losing the recent Taylor Swift endorsement to Harris this year. After that, he declared he, quote, hates Taylor Swift, a kind of visceral response to rejection familiar to anyone from middle school or high school experience. I should tell you, his own daughter is clearly still a Swiftie. She's drawing new headlines this week for attending a Taylor show, even during the campaign homestretch. And Harris has seen far more endorsements from artists than Trump. So today's show of force at the Harris rally in Atlanta that we've been covering would certainly rankle Trump. The stars range from Samuel L. Jackson, you see there, to Springsteen coming up. We have an eye on the scene now, where the people are coming and going, and eventually they'll get to the main attractions, of course, on that same stage of Obama and Harris. Now, musicians and stars have long been a part of campaign politics, and we've seen that clearly this season. I can also tell you that from a voter perspective, whether you like these stars and musicians or not, from a voting political science perspective, we can see they matter more now. Because with today's social media, really over only the last 10 or 15 years, they can now directly reach their fans online in a fundamentally different way. The Swift endorsement came with a direct call for voter registration, which led to over 400,000 visits to vote.org within 24 hours and many thousands of registrations. And the Harris campaign is eyeing Eminem to boost turnout in his home state of Detroit, where he is far more popular than any politician in either party. Eminem in Detroit is kind of as high as it gets. Now, there's one artist who's loomed above virtually all the others in these discussions this year. The Harris campaign already applied Beyonce and her song Freedom as their theme song and message with approval. And Beyonce and her husband Jay-Z have backed Democrats before. She even had the special role of singing At Last. Nice. At President Obama's first inaugural ball. But I can tell you, Beyonce has yet to actually appear with Harris for any campaign activity. She has not gone to do what I've just showed you some of those other artists have. And when there were mistaken rumors that Beyonce might perform at the DNC, it upended political and pop culture news all through that night. The website TMZ incorrectly suggested she would go to the DNC. And then there was an instant frenzy. The New York Times reporting on how that Beyonce rumor basically took center stage until Harris took it back. Rolling Stone analyzed that fallout with the great headline, "It couldn't be." The cultural and political impact of Beyonce personally campaigning for Harris is widely understood as huge. By Harris allies, by Trump, who you saw earlier name-checked Beyonce, and by the political and media and nerdy obsessives who follow this stuff. Beyonce has more IG followers than Taylor Swift herself, over 300 million. Beyonce's tours have shown the kind of committed fan base that far exceeds what most politicians can do when they try to get people to come out to rallies. Beyonce's latest tour boosted the economy by $4.5 billion. So now tonight, after all the intrigue, in this critical home stretch, we can report the Harris campaign is announcing Beyonce will appear with Harris in person at a rally in her hometown of Houston. That's this Friday tomorrow, and it's making headlines right now. It will promise the images and the excitement which the Harris campaign views as critical to its GOTV efforts around the country. you don't need to really promote a Beyonce event. It kind of explodes and promotes itself. As I just showed you, a Beyonce non-event of her not actually coming to the DNC drove all the big headlines. And some outlets are slugging the Beyonce news on par with other major developments, as you see here. So Beyonce said in her theme song this year there that the Harris campaign's been using, freedom, where are you? Because I need freedom too. I'm going to keep running because a winner don't quit on themselves.